Now I've had a lovely summer holiday. I've come back, done some head scratching, and I think I've sorted out in my head where we need to be going with this club. But before all of that, a little reality check. So on this channel I have two regular contributors. I have Alex and I have Phil. Now Phil has his own YouTube channel playing Football Manager, and it's called Old Man Phil. Well worth a watch. Just, you know, once you finish watching this, don't switch mine off and go and watch his, but once you finish watching this, go over and have a look. Check Phil's channel out. It's a really good watch. Anyway, so back to Alex, who is a contributor to the channel. He always comes up with really constructive criticism, and he's always there with bits of advice and whatever. And he's done a little bit of research. Now, I didn't know anything about RCLENS before I took them over. And I generally don't do any background research into a club because it's kind of more fun if you go in a bit blind. But it did get me thinking. So he's done some research and he came back with that RCLENS actually were in a bit of a mess. They went bankrupt in 2014. They only just about in the last few years clawed the way back with the help of a well-known Spanish club. And like I say, they have been in a little bit of a mess. And it did get me thinking. I thought to myself, okay then, you know, so if I were to do this again, would I research a club first? And if they're in loads of trouble, don't take it on. But not really. I think, you know, the fun of playing a management game like this. And I mean, I've very mixed emotions, as you'll probably guess from watching all of my videos. Very mixed emotions about Football Manager. I want to play a game that's I know it's a computer game, I know that, but I want to play a game that's as realistic as possible. And I mean, you know, I'm doing my part. I'm taking over a club that I didn't realise was in massive financial trouble, and I was going to have to take all of that on. So I'm doing my bit. Football Manager, you need to do your bit. Some of the clips have shown of some of the goals recently. Anyway, let's not get into a rant about that. So like I say, I think, you know, the outcome of all this is that I have no regrets about taking on RCLENS, and it's a big challenge, it's a good challenge, and I'm kind of up for it. So, you know, thanks Alex, he's a regular contributor, like I say, comes up with some really good he does research on all my teams, and gives me some really good background information, so keep up the good work, Alex. So back into today's episode, and I think, you know, all of that information there feeds into what I've been thinking myself. And this save has become a little bit more than just taking over a football club and trying to get them to win stuff. It's now become a challenge in the financial side of it is a challenge as well. So I'm not only trying to get the team playing well, winning trophies, etc., but I'm also trying to get the finances right. And I think I've kind of got my head around that now, that, okay, the finances are in a mess. Do I need to worry about that? And I think I've decided for myself, yes, I do. And I'm going to try and work on that as well. So we've got a dual thing going on now with RCLENS. For as long as I'm here, we're going to try and get the finances sorted, and we're going to try and get the team playing and sorted as well. So with that in mind, I did mention at the end of the last episode we'd had one or two kind of, you know, people were looking at Rory, my goalkeeper, who, to be honest, at the end of the last episode, I had no intention of selling. Because in my head, I'm thinking, right, I brought Saulo in, the Brazilian midfield player. He was going to be my midfield for the foreseeable future. He was young, but he was going to be the basis of it. Rory, I said, would be one of the best goalkeepers in the world one day. And I was building a team around these players. But then I got to thinking about everything that I've just been speaking about. And I thought, well, you know what? What am I going to do with 1.19 million? Nothing. So in the end, I decided to actually put those two players. I didn't wait for offers to come in. I put them both on the transfer list. And eventually I did sell them both. And I've been able to rebuild the team. I mean, who knows whether it's better or worse than it was last season. But I've actually been able to rebuild the team and bring in some better players in positions where I was quite weak. And I've also brought a new goalkeeper in. If I say so myself, I think I'm quite good at picking a goalkeeper out. You watch, now I've said that my new goalkeeper will make the biggest howlers in the world. Well, if the AI's got anything to do with it, my goalkeepers will make the biggest howlers in the world. Anyway, let's get into the transfers that I've been able to do. So as you can see there, Saulo did go to Brighton for 16 million. I signed him for 6. So we made a £10 million profit on the lad, and that 10 million is, well, it's helping to reduce the deficit in the bank, but it also gives me a little bit of money to spend as well. So, you know, dual purpose, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on in future, I think, is like a dual purpose. We have a humongous second team who basically don't do anything. If I want to kind of get players, you know, up for fitness and put them into the second team, I have to arrange friendlies myself to get them in there. The second team has about 30 odd bodies in it, so I'm trying to reduce that as well. I'm doing really well with that. It's been very, very difficult. I've got players in there. There's about 8 of them who I'm trying to give away for free, and the AI just won't let me sell them. It's been very, very frustrating, let me tell you. It's very, very hard work in this latest version of Football Manager to try and sell players and, you know, try and get your finances and your playing staff all sorted. But yeah, I've got 8 players, tried to move them out for nothing, and they won't go. The AI just keeps coming back saying, those 8 players you're trying to sell, sorry, they ain't going anywhere. So I'm stuck with the wages, I'm stuck with the bodies, but I am working on that, and it is coming down. So coming into this summer's transfers now, well, you know, after Saulo went out. So basically, Cisse went to Brest. He was the player that I brought in to play right wing. I did kind of decide that I wasn't going to play with wingers. I thought, right, okay, if I change to a winger system again, I'm going to have to bring in 4 top-class wingers because I don't really have any. Cisse was okay, but he never really proved himself. So 4 top-class wingers, and then the other positions are not going to get filled. My left wing back, my right wing back. It was a difficult decision, but in the end I decided, right, I'm not going to play with wingers now. We're going to play a different tactic, and Cisse has to go, basically. So he went to Brest for up to 1.3 million. You can see quite a few loans in there. These most of them are kind of the second, you know, some of the second team that I've just been talking about. Sanya was a perfect example. Now he's on 25 grand a week. I mean, crazy money, and I just could not move him. In the end, he's gone out on loan to Vallecano. I think they're paying about 60-70% of his wages, so it's more money off the wage bill. But as you can see, lots of loans in there, trying to move players, trying to get the wage bill down, trying to get the playing staff down. And then we come down to Roriel. And yes, he's gone 47 million to Leeds. Now, like I said before, it's quite a difficult sale, that one, because Roriel was kind of he was like the start of the backbone of my new team. But with with the mess that the club is in, we needed to bring some money in. Now I paid 8.5 million for Roriel. Absolute steal, did a really great bit of business with him, and to get 47 million for him, I mean, it's virtually a profit of 40 million. And some of the players that I brought in, you'll see when we I show you the transfers that have come in for not a lot of money, but are now worth in excess of 20 million. So I don't know whether this is going to become we're a selling club to make money. I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully we can build on that, and when we sell these players, we can bring, say, sell 1, bring 2 in, good quality young players. I don't know. Not sure where it's going yet. But anyway, so Roriel has gone 47 million. A couple more loans down there. And then we get to Gattini. Now, Gattini's a bit of an interesting one. He was on 12,500 a week. He was kind of a backup centre-half. He got 3 years left on his contract. Came knocking on my door. What a new contract. So I sent him away with a flea in his ear. But then, as per usual, with Football Manager, you get the knock on the door. Oh, the team leaders want a word with you. Gattini's very grumpy. We're very upset about it. We're going to have grumpies as well. I mean, it's so boring and frustrating. I mean, sometimes, I mean, I know it's a computer game. I know that it's trying to make the game difficult and it's not fun to play. Let's put it that way. It isn't fun to play. It's frustrating to play. But anyway, so I had to say to them, right, okay then, I'll, you know, to appease you, I'll give him the wage rise. So I did have a quick look what he wanted. And he wanted to over double his wages. He still had 3 years left on his contract. I think he wanted about 28,000 a week. So I thought, right, okay, what do we do here? I put him on the transfer list. And eventually we sold him. Not for quite as much as I wanted, but rather some money coming in than having grumpy players around upsetting the dynamic. So yes, Gattini's gone 2.9 million to Bologna. And also you'll notice there the Menino. Now, if you remember right back at the very beginning when I took over RCLENS, a transfer had been arranged already for this 31-year-old player. And I thought, I don't sign 31-year-old players, but it's been agreed. I mean, he could play in a few positions. He's been reasonable while I've had him, but I just thought, you know, if we can get some money for him, free up a position as well, because he was taking up a foreign position in the squad. So he's gone to ATP 1.5 million. Okay, on to the transfers in, and obviously with the amount of money that we've been able to generate with those sales, I've actually been able to bring quite a lot of new players in to try and build a nucleus of a good squad, and also 1 or 2 players in there who we can sell at a later stage for decent money if we need to do. So the first of those players we already know, it's Arbeloa, the Spanish lad. We took him on loan with an agreed 2.1 million fee at the end of it, and he's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, if we look at his stats for last season, 30 appearances, 5 goals, 10 assists, 2 player a match, 7.20. So, you know, he was well worth spending £2 million on. Unfortunately, the AI is saying that he's not worth any more than 2.9 million now, so I'm not quite sure, but he's obviously a very, very good player, and, you know, he's going to be a regular starter in our midfield. So we're staying with Real San Sebastian. We went in for a right wing back, Hernan Marino. He's potentially he's a 4.5-star player. He is now, we paid 10 million for him. He's now worth up to 22 million. And again, you know, I'm not reading stats out for you. You can all read the stats. But I think he is going to be probably our starting right wing back. We've struggled in that position a little bit. This first season I came, we had a lad, what was he called? Can't remember his name now. But we had a lad there on loan playing the right wing. But last season I brought an on loan player to play in that position. Now we've got a player who is ours. We bought him and he will be a regular starter for us. Now with Europe in mind, I've tried to bring in a few French players as well. So Francesco Galli has come in, 25-year-old, a midfield player. He can also play at striker, so kind of right through that middle. Again, stats look okay. He's coming for 2 million, I think, worth up to 4.1. So not a great value added there, but he's got a potential of 3.5 stars, but he's French and he fits the criteria for Europe, so that's very important. Went to PSG next, absolute steal, 2 million. Another French player, Clement Maisonneuve, 22-year-old midfield player again. He looks, you know, a good, decent. He's not going to start games, not regular anyway, but he's a very, very good backup. And he's now worth up to 27 million. So a very good bit of business there. And like I say, French fits the European rules. Now, left wing back, never really been totally happy there. We have got Cabal and we've also got Heskey in that position. I think Heskey will come good one day, but anyway, we've been to PSG, 600,000 for Antonio Mazzone. He's a 4.5-star potential fullback, wing back. He's not got the greatest stats, but he's only going to be cover on that side because, like I say, we have still got Cabal, we've still got Heskey. But I have brought another left wing back in who is going to be our starter. But again, 600,000. He's worth up to 6.4 million now. So another good bit of business. Thanks, PSG. Now, this season, I'm probably looking to play with two strikers. Not in every game, but, you know, in quite a few games, I'm looking to play with two strikers. So, Cavalan didn't go. Nobody seemed interested in him. He did have a wanted thing next to his name, but nobody came in for him. So we've still got... I mean, the transfer window is still open. We may get an offer for him. I don't know. But him and Carvalho, the only two strikers, really, out-and-out strikers we've got. So I've gone to Chelsea and brought in on loan Andoni Sanz. And Spanish 22-year-old striker. Really good pace in the penalty. He's got a 15 for finishing. And he's a potential 4-star player. So we've got a little bit of rotation going on now up front, which previously we've not really had. Now, a few Brazilians in the team never hurts any side, does it really? So I've signed a defensive midfield player. We really didn't have any backup for Perone there. He was playing most of the games. So Aurelio, 22-year-old defensive midfield player. He's come in for not a lot of money, really. I think about 4 million. He's now valued up to 22 million. Again, he's got, you know, quite good stats for his position. 14 marking, 16 tackling. He's got 19 determination, 15 for positioning. So I think he will be a very, very good player for us and good competition for Perone, an ageing Perone, let's put it that way. Back to left wing back again. So we're getting some really good, solid players now for the wing back roles to hopefully bomb up and down with having no wingers. To hopefully bomb up and down. And you know, kind of be a little bit of a playmaker, get crosses in and you know, link with the attack. So we've gone for an Italian 22-year-old Matteo Bandecchi. He's going to be my starter left wing back. Physicals, bit off the scale. He probably needs a little bit of work on the mentals and technicals, but he is only 22. And he's come in and now he's worth a 22 million. And we paid 10 million for this lad, and he's now kind of doubled his value already. So as you can see, I'm trying to get some added value in these players. They're not just coming in to fill a position. We're actually getting some really good players in. We're getting a really good squad together, some French players in there as well. And a lot of them have got really good added value. So if they perform really well, and I do need to bring some money. And if the board give me, I don't know, 500,000 in the transfer budget at the end of this coming season, then I've got some players that I can move on and bring some money in. I mean, maybe it's not the way to look at things, but that's the way I'm having to start look at things at RCLENS. And I did talk about the new goalkeeper that's come in, and it's Andrew Ibrahim. He's an Australian lad, 25-year-old. He looks very, very good indeed. He's coming as a 3.5 star with potential to be 4. And hopefully, with my eye for a goalkeeper, he only cost me like 3 million. So when you consider we just sold a goalkeeper for 47 million and brought another one in for 3 million. And I think he'll do really well for us. Hopefully, I don't have to eat my words on this one. But I do normally have quite a good eye for a goalkeeper. And I think he will fit the bill quite nicely. And lastly, for the moment anyway, we went to Montpellier. We paid 12.5 million for this lad, Robert Bongtuet. Robert Bongo Tutet. Bit of a mouthful. I might have to give him a nickname. I can see myself coming unstuck with that one. But 24-year-old French lad, so fits all the criteria we need. He's great in the centre mid. He's great at attacking mid. I think I am going to play quite a few games with an attacking mid this season. Vincent, who was great for us last season, went back on off loan. Didn't have any, you know, he didn't want to come back with us on loan. His price has gone to about 25 million now, so we couldn't really afford him. I would have liked to have brought him in, but I think this lad is as good, if not better. So hopefully, you know, seeing great things from him. And again, look at his, you know, his numbers. Really, really good numbers. Have a quick look at the staff screen as well. I have brought 1 or 2 new members of staff in because contracts ran out. Brought a new assistant manager in who is much better. I didn't really notice. I had 2 assistant managers who weren't that great if I'm honest. So I brought a new assistant manager in, and I fired the other 2 off and brought another coach in. I think a goalkeeping coach. So as you can see here, we're like top of the shop across the league for recruitment and coaching. Medical staff is still a little bit on the low side. I think that's because we don't have a doctor, but I think the game controls that, so I'm not really sure what I can do about that. But the staffing has been worked on and is looking better than it was last season. Just have a quick look back into the transfer section again. So I have got one still on the go. Dordick, who is a ball-playing defender. With Gattini going, we did need some more cover in there. Although he is a very good player and he probably will be a regular starter. I have been in for him once, and the finances wouldn't work on our part, so I had to pull out of it. But Menino actually sold, and then it balanced the finances up, so I've gone back in for him. Whether I'll be allowed to sign him or not, I don't know at this stage. But anyway, it's one to keep an eye on. I am still in the transfer market. We don't have a lot of money left, but what we have, I'm trying to spend wisely. And finally, before we actually get into playing some football, just have a little look at the schedule. So I scheduled quite a lot of friendlies. I took out all the ones that the assistant manager did. They were all against like fairly top teams, and I wanted us to be able to go out there, learn our new tactic, and we've got quite a few new players in there. So I scheduled them against lower rated teams, and we won them all at a fair canter. But it's all about fitness and getting you to the tactic. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will see that we've actually already played Rapid Vienna. Now we're in the same position we were last season. We finished 4th. We have 2 playoff games to play before we can actually get into the league stage. As you remember, last season we fell at the first hurdle, we got beat by Sevilla, and we dropped into the Europa League. So this season, the first playoff game, which is 2-legged obviously, against Rapid Vienna, we actually won 2-1 away. We were trailing for a long time in that game, but as you can see there, Gidelli, one of our young strikers, he scored in the 83rd minute, drew it level, and then Arbeloa scored in the 87th minute, and we came away with a nice 2-1 win there. So that sets us up nicely for the second leg. And also then we played our first league game of the season against Auxerre, and Carvalho and Mbaye got us a nice 2-1 win in that one. So we're actually going to watch a game now. All the transfers and everything all out of the way now. Well, most of them are. So we're going to watch our first game. It's going to be the return leg against Rapid Vienna. We have a 2-1 lead. Can we consolidate that and get through to the next playoff round, which then would take us, if we win that, into the Champions League proper. And that's where the big money is. So let's go and watch that game. Well, welcome along to the third game of the season. We don't normally start like this. We normally show the first game of the season, but I just thought coming back for this, see how we do in the first leg, come back for the second leg, and then we've got 2 games under our belt. So if we can win this one today, it'll be 3 wins on the bounce, which will be great, and also get us through to the next round of the playoffs for the Champions League. Anyway, the team is, we've got Ibrahim in goal. The back 4 is Benedetti, Argiolas, Diogo and Moreno. Aurelio is the anchor today. 2 in midfield of Arbeloa and Masonave. Scarlata is playing the attacking midfielder today behind Carvalho and Cavalan up front. And we're underway in this Champions League playoff game. The winners of this game has already been decided, and well, it's a game that's underway, but PSV are winning 3-0 from the first leg. So I'm guessing I may renew my my rivalry with PSV, because if you remember, in the Dutch league they were a big rival of ours in the Eredivisie. So if we win this game, and actually at the moment we've just gone 1-0 behind, so the tie overall is now 2-2. Just give them a little bit of a shout of encouragement. We're not doing too well at the moment. Obviously that one goal is has levelled the tie, and it's kind of the thing you don't want to happen. You don't want to go 1-0 behind. But anyway, we're building from the back. So yes, if we do win this game, we'll be playing PSV for the chance to get in the Champions League stage. So that will be a tough game as well, because, like I say, I know PSV of old. So we're just putting our foot on the ball there, trying to look like we know what we're doing. Carvalho is now in the box with it. He's going to pull that back, and he's actually kicked from behind. The referee has actually not gone to the little box, and he said, no, it's a penalty that. Carvalho steps up, takes a penalty, just evades the goalkeeper, and we are back in the lead overall now. It's 1-1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. So can we actually get into the lead in this game now, which would give us a 4-2 lead on aggregate? That one goal, I think, knocked the stuffing out of us after 20 minutes, and took us a little bit of time to get ourselves composed. But there's a ball over the top there for Carvalho. Carvalho's going to slide this in. Are we going to get a head on it? No, we're not. But that's picked up again. Oh! Carvalho, they very nearly made something out of absolutely nothing. We're moving into half-time now. Still 1-1 on the night. Half-time is with us. I'm going to say you've done beautifully so far. Beautifully. Okay, yeah, I mean, after that little bit of a scare in the 20th minute, we've come back and we're playing okay now. We're getting on top in the game. We're doing all right. Going to give them a little bit of encouragement. So we're playing the ball around at the back. We've played it out of defence. Cavallon is now coming down the right-hand side with the ball. He's going to put that ball in the box, and we're going to put that in the back of the net. No, we're not. So what's that? Has that gone out for a corner? We'll never know. That was very, very poor from Cavallon. I mean, he made an unchallenged run down the right-hand side and then was very, very, very poor on the final ball. Argiolas to Arbeloa. Down this side. Benedetchi. Arbeloa in. Oh, I thought that was going to go in the back of the net then, but no. So we're pretending at the moment to try and get this second goal. At the moment it's not really working, but we have picked the ball up again. Cavallon is now going down that right hand side again. Seems to be his preferred position in this game. Oh, and he slid the ball in for Masonade. Can Scalata Arbeloa? Yes! What a lovely worked goal, and Cavallon this time actually made it count. Lovely run down that right hand side, but instead of final ball being awful, this time he cuts the ball back. Masonade slides the ball in. Scarlata plays it back. Arbeloa makes I'm lost for words. I'm flabbergasted. It's 2-1. And we're into the 75th minute. I think it's time to make a substitution. 5 substitutions then. So replace both my wing backs. Perone's come on as the anchor now. Mazzoni has come on in midfield. And Sands has come on up front to replace Cavallon, who was very, very tired. Right, so if I can manage to get some words out of my mouth that make any sense, I'll continue to commentate on the rest of this game. But actually there doesn't seem as though there's anything to commentate on, and we've actually won that 2-1 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. That is a very, very nice win to take us into the next playoff game. And if we just have a quick look at the schedule there, so we play Strasbourg, who are not the greatest of teams. So we play them away from home, and then it is PSV that we play. So we've got a tough few games coming up. We've got PSV at home in the Champions League qualifying game. We've got Monaco at home in the league, and then we've got PSV again away in the Champions League playoff. So we have an undefeated start to the season. A little bit unprecedented, if I'm honest, but we have got some very tough games coming up. If we can stay undefeated, till the PSV second leg, will probably be top of the French league and will definitely be through to the Champions League stage. Are you going to come back and watch? Well, it's very exciting. I think you should come back and watch and carry on supporting the channel, because let's face it, you know, we're a new up and coming channel. Subscribers are building very slowly, but it'd be very nice if it carried on building. So come back, watch the next episode. It's all very exciting stuff here with the Gobby Gaffer at RCLENS. Come back and see what happens.